landed one black flash, no big deal. What the f is going on? Yuji, stop! What the f? This actually makes no sense. Please.
Yuji Itadori, the protagonist of Jujutsu Kaisen. Well, at least some people think that he's the protagonist, because for some reason, people think that GOJO's the protagonist, which doesn't make sense at all, but we ball. Despite being the protagonist for most of Jujutsu Kaisen, Yuji's been thrown into situations where he has little to no control over, and despite what he brings to the table, some people think that he's just really useless. Well, today, I'm gonna dwell into each and every single arc that he's in to evaluate whether or not Yuji Itadori is truly useless or carries like Prime LeBron, if you feel what I'm saying. If you guys want more of this ranking how useless a character is series, which I see you guys love a lot, make sure to get my knife, that like button, subscribe if you're new, comment for the algorithm, and let's dive in. Now, as I said, for every character in this series, I will not be grading Yuji Itadori based off of him doing his job as a Jujutsu sorcerer, rather, how much he's contributed towards the said arc. And one more thing before I continue, no, SUKUNA will not be included in Itadori's dubs. So anything that SUKUNA does is completely irrelevant to Yuji, regardless of how the outcome portrays. Strictly, we're going off of Yuji's actions. Now for the introduction arc, I'll put Yuji in that decent tier, considering that he did outpace Megumi, who had Nue that can fly, and dogs that can also run pretty fast. But not only that, when the curses started surrounding his friends, you know, and he had to go save them, he did, even though he didn't do no damage because, you know, he doesn't have curse energy, he still was able to stall them long enough for Megumi. However, him having no curse energy means that he couldn't actually kill these guys. So he was just stalling, basically, and hoping that he could get his friends out. Would you say that, you know, Yuji could have gotten there if Megumi was there? No. But he did do a decent job, so I'll put him in decent. If he had Crystal Energy, I'll put him higher, but this is the farthest I can go. Now for Nobara's introduction arc, Yuji's definitely going into that bare minimum tier, considering that he did do better than his introduction arc, where he did have Slaughter Demon to actually, you know, cut down the curses. However, there's one major flaw that, you know, is not really glossed over. Nobara at this time was more competent than Yuji was at that point. Nobara, if she came in like total and like just didn't care about that little kid, she could have wiped every single curse off the map there. She only like let Yuji shine. Let's be real. She only let Yuji shine because she had a morale of not wanting to kill a kid. I mean, not lead a kid dying because of a curse. So yeah, Yuji was just, it was there. He wasn't bad, but he was just there. Now for the Cursed Womb arc, Yuji is going into that useless tier. Yeah, I said it. The reason why he's going into the useless tier is because all he really did in that arc was walk up to a special grade curse and die. He had no, well, he didn't know how to use his curse energy. He didn't know how to reinforce it. All he did there was just die. And the funny thing is, normally people would say, oh, but Megumi and Nobara would have died. No, Megumi later on, and he barely even trained. I don't even think he trained at all. But basically, here in that same scenario, he fought a stronger version of that special grade curse right there, and he won by himself. So Megumi, if he locked in, like if his mindset was like, you know what, I'm gonna use Gojo's teachings and I'm gonna lock in, he would have killed that without even Itadori being there. So in reality, he was really useless. Now, people gonna say, oh, Sukuna. No, we're not counting Sukuna's dubs towards Itadori's wins. Sukuna does not actually help Itadori at all. He just happened to kill that dude because Sukuna was gonna kill Itadori's friends regardless. You feel me? So you can't really use that as an excuse to be like, oh yeah, thanks to Itadori, Sukuna killed this dude and everybody else was safe. Nope. Because right after that, guess who Sukuna went for? Megumi. You feel me? So yeah, put that 15-year-old in useless. Next up, we got the Junpei Arc, and this one, Yuji's going into pretty good, and for pretty good reasons as well. In this arc, he was pretty substantial, considering that Nanami would have died. For the first encounter, he did put in that work against Mahito. I don't think he would have killed him, but you know, he did have a good standing. However, that next encounter, Mahito, he went crazy, bro. They had to jump him with Yuji and Nanami combined. Even then, he still popped the domain expansion and would have killed Nanami too if Yuji didn't jump inside the domain. Now, you can argue that Sukuna did contribute to Yuji's dub here. However, I would like to give a counter argument because Yuji did use his brain. He was in control, because if he didn't go inside, Sukuna wouldn't have done that, you feel me? So Yuji forcefully putting himself in this situation where he knew that he would be at an advantage, I feel like that's more worthy of Yuji's dub right there in his battle IQ. Next up, we got the Kyoto GoodWill event, and here Yuji is going into masterclass, LeBron James territory, because oh my goodness, I really wish I could make a video on Toho, because I will put him right next to Yuji here because they both went crazy. Yuji's growth rate here is actually insane. He went from someone that's barely even grade 2 to literally grade 1. Like, oh my god. Toho as a teacher went insane. Yuji landed so many black flashes, and they made Hanami go serious. Not only that, they saved Inumaki, Megami, Maki, basically all of Kyoto High. Because, let's be real, they stalled on long enough before GOJO could actually get in there. If they wasn't there, and Yuji especially, if Yuji wasn't there, I don't think Toho would have held it down. You feel me? Yuji had to be there because Yuji was, woo, putting in that work. Now for the Death Painting arc, I'll put Yuji in pretty good. Now, I would normally put him in that prime LeBron tier. However, Nobara's just counter here is so unbelievably, like, great. It's so good here that turns the tide on itself. Now, Yuji did do great considering that his physicals was one thing that really scared the brothers and did in the end up killing them, right? However, Nobara just, with the assist, it was too clean. I have to save that carry LeBron spot for her. Yuji did do amazing though, I can't lie. Now for the arc that you all been waiting for, well, maybe not all y'all, because there's more arcs after this, but the arc that most of you guys have been waiting for, the Shibuya Incident arc. Now, throughout this arc, we do see Yuji struggle and push on to keep fighting foes like the Grasshopper Curse, Mahito, the Grasshopper Curse, Choso, the Grasshopper Curse. But yeah, if I was to give an exact rating for Yuji, I would put him in pretty good. I was initially thinking decent, but pretty good is where I'm gonna put him right now. Now, Yuji defeating Mahito was really good considering that he would have been a massive threat if he left Shibuya after getting stronger and all that. So Yuji putting him down was good. However, he didn't put down Kenjaku, he didn't put down Jogo, he didn't put down Rame, Sukuna, I know it's anybody, but still, like, there's so many other variables that he wasn't there for or killed, you feel me, besides Mahito. And also, one thing that a lot of people don't really understand is that when Yuji beat Choso, that caused Choso to turn and also help out in fighting Kenjaku. Now, don't get me wrong, Choso did get washed, but at the same time, Choso stalled on long enough so that Sumiki can come. Now for the Culling Games, I'll have to put Yuji in decent. Initially, I wanted to put him in bare minimum since, you know, he did like beat some fodder besides like Higuruma. However, now that I think about it, if it wasn't for him confronting Hikari and like showing his resolve, I don't think Hikari would have turned over and helped, you know, us. And thanks to Hikari doing that, we got not only Kashimo with us, right? But we also got all those other points from Kashimo killing random people. So it really did help the dirty work thanks to, you know, Yuji showing his resolve. So I think that's a fair place to put him. To add, after Sukuna possessed Megami's body, we can clearly see that there's a gap, like a big gap between Yuji and Sukuna. Now I understand this is Sukuna, right? But this is still Nerf Sukuna. And even then, we could see that Maki is on a much better playing field and much more closer to Sukuna while holding back. And what does that say about Yuji who's going all out? I don't know. But in this arc, he was just not it, bro. Not it. Decent is where the highest I can put him. I'm sorry. And now finally, we have the Shinjiku Showdown Arc. And I'm telling y'all right now, Yuji went crazy this arc. The arc happening right now And you might want to pluck your ears or skip ahead for spoilers if you haven't caught up. But oh my goodness, Yuji went crazy. So crazy, in fact, I had to put him in that 2018 Prime LeBron tier. He deserves it, trust me. Now let me explain. After Waffle Shimo got packed up by SUKUNA, we can see Higuruma and Yuji fly into the battlefield. And after, Higuruma takes away SUKUNA's lightning rod, we can see Yuji and Higuruma go at it. However, Yuji lands one punch here and it isn't really much, but it does shock SUKUNA. Now that is just the first of many times of SUKUNA being scared of Yuji. Yuta then pops into the battlefield with Rika, pops his domain, and Yuji's inside the domain with them, and you can see just the coordination of Yuta and Yuji going at it against SUKUNA, and you could see that Yuji's holding off his own here, much better than he did before with Maki and SUKUNA back in like the Culling Games. Yuji is actually putting in that work. So much so that SUKUNA is treating Yuji's punches like the soul split katana. Like he really cannot be touched by it, so he has to be wary about it. And throughout not only this fight, but multiple fights after, this just gets more and more apparent for SUKUNA, while Yuji's just constantly getting stronger and stronger, reaches SUKUNA's level. 8 black flashes. Yuji Itadori, not only with soul punches regularly, with amped black flash, he did 8 soul punch black flashes. Yuji Itadori, you truly are something else. And not only that, spoiler warning for the newest chapter, I don't even think it dropped yet, but just the leaks, just off the leaks, guess what? Itadori put a domain expansion on SUKUNA, which landed by the way, and now it seems that SUKUNA is finally packed. Well, because this whole scene is just mirrored by GOJO's death, which was also off screen, so now Yuji's out here off screening the King of Cursed. Somebody clearly got talked by Blackbeard. Even if SUKUNA uses his he and error bullshit, you know for a fact that Yuji was essential in this whole operation. More than Kashimo, more than Hikari, just as much as Yuta, just as much as GOJO. If it wasn't for Yuji, we wouldn't get this far. And now I can understand you could bring in variables like Kenjaku and Orame, and that's valid, you feel me, they are threats. However, they're not as threatful as SUKUNA, and we all know how strong SUKUNA is. He took out my blue-eyed goat, so we know for a fact that, SUKUNA's the biggest threat there. And Yuji handling him, paid chapter chapter, constantly putting in that work, adapting, getting stronger, getting a domain expansion. Come on now. Nowhere near useless. He was useful to the highest level. Ever wanted your room to light up like Fuga? Wait, no, not like that! And guess what? Your room can with these SUKUNA LEDs. Well, there's not only just SUKUNA, there's GOJO, Zoro, and so much more stuff you could buy. You could get yourself a hoodie, phone case, swords, jewelry, so much variety I could barely breathe. All these amazing anime accessories all at Anime Express. And click the link down below or use code TACT10 to get 15% off your order. Who wouldn't want that?
Not me.
Now back to the video. And yeah, that seems to be my tier list on ranking how useless Yuji Itadori was in Jujutsu Kaisen. Compared to Nobara and Megami, I thought he would be a little bit higher, but I mean, we all know how Gege treats his side characters, and especially his main cast. But if you guys want to see more of ranking how useless a character is series, not only for Jujutsu Kaisen, but other series as well, make sure to give him a knife that like button, subscribe if you're new, comment for the algorithm, follow my Twitter, I be chatting there too. I'm tagged out before, and I'll see you guys next time.